Hey guys, welcome back to the channel name pending. I'm Manny, and today we are reacting to Avatar: The Last Airbender on Netflix, Episode 4, Into the Dark. Spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't seen the original show, I do talk about it during my reactions, so just be warned. I'm sorry there's been such a long delay between these reactions coming out. Normally I'd want to post them a lot faster and more consistently, but I was holding out to see if Kaylee would be available to join me. Unfortunately, she's super busy right now as she is in school and finals are coming up, so it looks like I'm going to have to finish out the series on my own, which is fine. We're here and I'm super excited to continue watching. When last we left our heroes, it seems Aang has been arrested and Zuko and Iroh have been separated. We're definitely meeting Boomy for real this time. Before we continue on with the video, please consider subscribing to the channel. I'd love to have you, and I'm going to try to get the rest of these episodes out right away, since I took such a long break between the last couple episodes. So yeah, you'd have that to look forward to. And I don't have much more to say, so without further ado, let's get into it.
General Iroh.
So they both end up in
It's
prison
good to see
together.
you, young Avatar. But in my experience, the Earthbenders aren't exactly kind to their fallen foes.
It's a lot coming from a Fire Nation general.
Were you working with the enemy?
It's complicated.
No, it's not. It's a simple question. Were you helping the firebenders?
I mean, it's complicated, basically amounts to a yes. Said, oh, classic. Oh, so Zuko went back into the city. 100. Oh, are we gonna see Aang and Child Boomy? Yes. He even laughs like cartoon Boomy.
My brother, the Fire Lord, sees things through only one lens: victory or defeat. Nothing else matters.
I've always wanted more Aang and Iroh interactions, because they're both wise. Like, obviously Iroh's wise, but Aang's also pretty wise in his own way. And they would have gotten along so well if they got more, like, screen time together in the show.
What about the tunnels? The secret tunnels, hidden under the mountain. It's said that the founders of the city used them to meet without anyone knowing.
Secret tunnel. Is that what they're doing? Is that why Boomy was his little thing foreshadowing us meeting the Badger Moles later in this episode?
You're not as lucky. You're going to
You get an audience with the king. Holy shit, I think we're actually gonna see the secret tunnels. You better see the hippies.
The Avatar has returned to the world. It's time to stop hiding. It's time to fight.
First, they need to get the Avatar out. Also, this is Boomy's kingdom. They can take the Fire Nation. I'd like to think so.
Lotus root, pine bark, dried jasmine, scalding hot water, steep for 2 minutes. Tea?
Oh, okay. Boomy?
Hello, Aang.
Boomy!
Right away?
How are you still alive?
Clean living, the right diet, and luck. Hard to say if it's good or bad luck.
Oh, I don't know how I feel about him knowing right away. Like, I know they have to compress the timeline, but I don't think that's something that
Pine bark?
necessarily needed to be.
What idiot told you to put pine bark in it?
At least the casting for Boomy is really well done. He laughs and sounds like Boomy. Oh, she's been needing that. I was wondering when she was gonna pick up her water satchel. Honestly, a water satchel should be common carrying gear for any waterbender. Where did that come from? So Katara knows basic takedown maneuvers.
Sir, I was assigned prisoner transfer duty, but well,
Is he changing his voice?
The old firebender was taken to the pit. The other one's still here.
other one.
Yeah, the bald kid.
Is he gonna have to make a decision between saving Iroh and capturing Aang. A classic Zuko decision. He made his choice in the cartoon to save Iroh whenever he was captured by the... Oh yeah, I forgot that Iroh was captured by the firebenders in the cartoon. Not in the same way, which is probably why I forgot. But...
Boomy! This is important. Don't you care?
Care? You dare tell me I should care? You may be 100 years old, but you haven't lived for 100 years.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie, that line goes really hard. Coming from Boomy. You may be 100 years old, but you haven't lived for 100 years. That might be one of my favorite lines yet. Like, original lines from this show. Oh, hell yes.
Well, good. Grab that one.
I was so scared they were going to cut these guys out.
Yeah, that was all kinds of right. So what do you...
The Nomads were such a cartoony part of the original show. It would have been easy to cut them out, but I respect the choice to keep them in.
Those are the tunnels.
Alright, those already look a lot more scary.
Yeah, I want to go in there.
We don't have a choice.
We
We have to find our friend.
It's a tale of two lovers.
I'm so ready for some unique animation.
They built elaborate tunnels so that they could...
Oh, I
make
love these
secret-
visuals. This is how the original Romeo and Juliet should have gone.
Especially if you're going to go into the dark void from which no living being ever returns.
Yes. No, give me the chorus.
There's no such thing as angry spirits.
Secret tunnel. Secret, 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 secret tunnel.
They're doomed.
Sorry, every ATLA fan has to sing along whenever they hear that. Ooh. So this is happening. I love the scene in the show where Iroh and Zuko fight earthbenders together. Unnecessary.
You sure?
I'm so ready for this guy to get his ass beat by Arrow. Nice. Oh, instead of his sandal, I like that. I do like that. I was gonna say, second to the Fire Nation, the Earthbenders have always been, what's the word? Corrupt? Unpleasant? You know what I mean.
Boomy, what is this?
Is that rock candy? That's what it was in the cartoon.
And maybe I just wanted a bite of rock candy.
Yep. No, he chose to go after Iroh. He'd love it.
I'm coming, Uncle.
Oh, Zuko's so well done in this show. Looks like we're probably not gonna get the romantic moment between Katara and Aang in the tunnel.
Map says?
Maps unclear.
Which, like, I'm fine considering how
Yeah, a hunch.
much of a
I feel like
child
I'm
Aang is in this show compared to Katara, at least visibly. We're not gonna get into that. Love is brightest in the
Well,
dark.
What do you know? Love is brightest in the dark. You have to let it get dark so you can follow the light. That's how you find the path.
Sokka's already having a much better time in the tunnels than here than he did in the cartoon. He was suffering.
And you keep acting like you know everything when you couldn't even tell that a traitor was flat out lying to you.
Says the girl who fell for a terrorist.
That's not. You don't get to tell me who I can talk to.
And you don't get to just ignore me.
I can't if you're being an idiot.
Dad put me in charge.
You're not Dad.
There's some of the Katara anger I was hoping for. Like I said in my last discussion, they kind of toned down her temper. I knew it.
Firebenders don't need water, right?
What? Why is this guy such a
Our
dick?
bossing say the city had to ration fresh water after the first year of the siege. Being in the military, we got special privileges.
Oh, was he there
My brother, though,
during Iroh's siege?
he had a soft heart.
That would make sense, I guess.
He was on watch the night we torched the Western Wall.
Okay.
By the time we put the fires out, there was nothing left of him to bury.
Okay. I wanted
He was
this.
19.
This is good. This is good stuff.
All those lives lost.
Thought I was just being a dick for no reason. And believe me, Iroh regrets more than anyone.
You know, I can still smell smoke when I go to sleep at night. Never really goes away.
Holy fuck, this is so good.
War pushes us to the edge. Some of us don't like what we find there.
Is that your pitiful way of saying you're sorry for what you did?
I wasn't talking about me.
Man,
Oh, it's true, isn't it? You have no humanity. You know nothing of loss.
oh, man. It's a controversial opinion within the ATLA fandom because Iroh is so beloved. But the fact is, it was always kind of messed up that it took Iroh losing his son to change, even if he did change for the better, and we know he changed for the better.
Take comfort in knowing that Liu Tan will forever be
Ooh.
hailed as a champion of the Fire Nation.
Thank you, Ozai.
Zuko, as an Ozai and Iroh interaction. We love to see it. But yeah, it always took it took Liu Tan's death for Iroh to see the error of his ways, and you can make a valid argument that that was messed up of him.
When my studies weren't going well and father was unhappy,
Oh, do you hear that?
Lieutenant gave me this. He'd won it
Leaves from the vine.
in his officer class. He said it should belong to someone destined to do great things.
Okay. The Iroh and Zuko stuff in this episode is the best stuff we've gotten.
Lieutenant never needed it because he was the strongest person I knew.
Is this the moment where he starts to see Zuko as his own? Man, this dynamic, this Zuko and Iroh content we're getting in this episode has to be my favorite new material of this season so far. Holy. Oh my god. That was so good.
You led the tribe and protected us with nobody to help you. Dad never had to bear that kind of burden alone. You had it harder than him.
Honestly, yeah. Especially considering how big the tribe looked in this adaptation compared to the cartoon. For a kid as young as him to suddenly be thrust into that leadership position.
This shouldn't be here. We were here before, but this wall wasn't.
Oh yeah.
How is that possible?
Badger moles.
Who cares about, saving the world? No, more fun to goof off. Am I right?
They do seem to have changed Boomy's motivations a bit. They've made him a bit more affected by the war, I guess. Not that he wouldn't be in the cartoon, but more emphasis on it in the show. Ooh, yes. I need to see this fight scene. Have we seen a proper Earthbender fight yet?
To the death.
Appropriately buff. I wonder what he looks like without all that makeup on him. The actor. Ooh.
Badger mole.
That is an angry badger mole. Man, I cannot overstate how important it is to have all this extra Iroh and Zuko development. God damn. They're just so protective of each other. I love it. And he's using the chain. Just like that. Yo. You just burned that guy alive?
We've all seen enough death.
Saw that coming. Oh! He's gonna be fine.
I'm sorry, too.
What's going on? Are we dead?
Was it love?
Love is brightest in the dark.
Is love the answer?
How do you think they do with verbal commands? Excuse me, Mr. Badger mole?
It's an interesting twist. It was a prime earthbending move. I remember Aang did it in the final fight against Ozai. Yeah, they're definitely playing around with Boomy's motivations a bit.
You were the Avatar, and you left us in this world. You can't rely on anyone, even your friends.
To have him feel abandoned by Aang.
Especially your friends.
Hey. I'm pretty sure that's a shot from the original cartoon. Him going over the rock like that. Oh, I love earthbending. Earthbending is so cool.
Boomy, I can't hold both of them! Help me!
Let it fall. Let it fall. And you win!
Boomy, this isn't a game!
This is some very powerful airbending from Aang right now.
Let it fall, Aang, and learn what it means to be the Avatar.
No!
Yeah, I have to say, this feels like a very different character, Boomy, from the cartoon. Not to say I dislike it, but it's just a completely different motivation. Smart.
I wasn't here for the world. Or for you. But I'm here now.
Aww.
Fire Nation forces are on the move. They'll be here by dawn. Fortunately, a source tipped us off.
Nice.
But I do have one more challenge for you.
Yes. Ah, that was perfect. This is... No? Oh.
Ah, good. It's not too late. Getting ready to embark on what is sure to be a memorable journey.
You want to come with me?
Oh my god.
I've come fully prepared. All the tea I
Oh
need.
my god, they're including this moment.
I don't need a babysitter.
How about a friend?
Oh. The Zuko and Iroh dynamic is my favorite in the whole show. So this means so much to me.
Home. Everything I need is on this boat. Like I said, all the tea I need.
They know how to use that music to just tug at my heartstrings. Alright, that was Avatar The Last Airbender on Netflix, Episode 4, Into the Dark. I'm gonna talk about the Aang and Bumi stuff first because I need to recover from the Zuko and Iroh scenes. Bumi being more bitter in this adaptation is a decision that I already know is going to be controversial among fans. I do understand it from a writer's perspective. The showrunners really seem to be leaning hard on the consequences of Aang disappearing for a century and allowing the war to get as bad as it did, by having characters affected by the war confront Aang for essentially abandoning them. For me, it would hold a bit more weight if Aang had actually intentionally abandoned them, as in the live action, it really just seemed like he went out to clear his head for a bit and then just happened to be gone while the Fire Nation attacked instead of actually knowingly leaving his duty, if that makes sense. But I digress. My point is that Bumi in the show makes sense for what the show is trying to do, but it is almost a complete reworking of Bumi's motivation from the cartoon, so in a way he's kind of a new character entirely. I will say that the actor for Bumi was spot on. Like, I couldn't imagine a better physical portrayal than what we got. And the fight scene was also pretty good. I don't have that much to say about the Sokka and Katara subplot other than the fact that we somehow got Secret Tunnel and Leaves from the Vine in the same episode, which was amazing. I'm already planning to listen to both of those on the soundtrack list, hoping a full rendition of Secret Tunnel is on there. Whoever wrote those scenes of Zuko and Iroh, which are original to the live action by the way, needs a raise, because as perfect as the cartoon is, Iroh's past is an aspect of his character that I've always wanted to get more development on, and I could not be more happy with what we got here. Iroh, the Dragon of the West, the fearsome general, the war criminal, is something that the cartoon always sort of alluded to but never truly delved into. But from what we know, it wasn't inaccurate for that Earth Kingdom guard to call him a butcher. I'm sure Iroh is responsible for who knows how many deaths. Whoever played the guard did an awesome job too at portraying that anger. From his perspective, from the perspective of anyone affected by Iroh's actions really, would you honestly expect him to be like, oh, you lost your son and now you decided to be a better person. I have to forgive you now. No. They would fully be in their right to hate him. Yes, Iroh changes for the better. But like I said, it took him losing his own son for that to happen, after he had already taken the lives of how many other sons and daughters. To be clear, I do believe that he redeems himself, and I love post-Bossing Say Iroh with all my heart, but that's what makes him a wonderfully complex character, and I love that the live action explored that a bit more. Luten's funeral is possibly my favorite scene in the show so far. Seeing Iroh so soon having just lost his son puts into perspective how broken he was. And then Zuko doing his best to comfort him broke me, because you could see the grief that Zuko was in as well. Luten was his cousin, they were probably close. We also got to see our first Ozai and Iroh on-screen interaction as well, which was nice. And to see the scene where Iroh decides to go with Zuko and the start of such a beautiful relationship was a cherry on top. you could tell how much that small show of compassion from Zuko meant to Iroh. And of course, they played Leaves from the Vines over both scenes because they love ripping our hearts out of our chests. And they were both live-action original scenes. Like, this is definitely my favorite episode of the show so far. And it's made me very excited to see more of Zuko and Iroh's dynamic going forward. But yeah, that's enough for this episode. If you liked this video, thank you so much for watching. Please consider subscribing to the channel, drop a like, let me know what you thought of the episode in the comments, and I will see you in the next.